So you have, oh, let me stop recording. So what we're going to do today is, it's just the 5 questions in 3.6. And it's kind of like some applied problems that where you can use your matrix function and your systems of equations function or skills to solve these different real life kind of problems. Okay. The first one though just wants us to get used to like hearing a sentence and being able to translate that into like an algebraic equation. Okay, so on number 1, it just says the translation of the statement, the sum of 3 numbers is 50. So it just wants us to rewrite that as an equation. So when you're talking about the sum of numbers, that means you will be adding those numbers together. Okay. Now, if it's 3 different numbers, like this is saying, the sum of 3 numbers is 50, that means we don't know what any of the 3 numbers are. And so we're going to call them 3 separate letters. So if you're just talking about the sum of 3 numbers that you're adding together, and their sum is 50, that's just saying that x plus y plus z is equal to 50, right? That's the sum of 3 different numbers. If you add them together, they equal 50. So that's how you would translate that into an equation. So that's all it is on number 1. Now, number 2 is a little more tricky with its words. It says the first number is 50 more than the sum of the other 2 numbers. Okay, so what that's saying, I like to figure out where my equal sign is going to go first. Words that you're looking for in a sentence that are telling you where your equal sign goes are words like is, or is equal to, or amounts to. All of those phrases mean equals. So if you're reading this and it says the first number is 50 more than the sum of the other 2 numbers. So the first number would just be written as x. And then look what it says after that. What does it say after the phrase, the first number? After it says the first number, then that is where you see the word is. Right? The first number is. Wherever you see the word is, that's where your equal sign is going to go. Now, on the other side of the equal sign, it says 50 more than the sum of the other 2 numbers. Well, if you're 50 more than something, you're going to have the sum of those 2 numbers plus 50. Right? So if I'm 50 more than the sum of the other 2 numbers, that would be y plus z, and then 50 more than the sum of those. Now, when you are looking at, this is a multiple choice problem, all the answers have the x, y, and z on the left side of the equal symbol, which just means from what I have written up here, I need to move the y and the z to this side, right? And that's just because that's how the answers are all given to us, is all the x, y's, and z's over here. So if I'm going to translate these to come over here, that means I need to cancel them out over here. So I'm actually going to subtract that y and z off that side, which means that's exactly what I'd have to do to the other side. So now let's see what we have. There's my equal symbol. On the left side, these are just 3 separate terms that I can't combine, right? You can't put an x with a y and a z. So I just have these 3 separate terms here. X minus y minus z. Those will cancel. So all that's left over there is the 50. So x minus y minus z equals 50. That's all you would do on number 2. Now, when we get to number 3 is talking about the angles of a triangle. And it doesn't give you this information in the problem, but it's just information that you would have to already have previously known about triangles. And that is the fact that when you're dealing with triangles and their angles always add up to 180. So that's just kind of like a previous knowledge thing that needed to be known. So I'm going to draw out this triangle. So it's got 3 angles. It's got A, B, and C. If I add all 3 of these angles together, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is going to equal 180. So now let's see what it tells us about these different angles. The first thing it says is, in the triangle ABC, the measure of angle B, so this angle is 17 more than 3 times A, angle A. So if I wrote that out algebraically, 17 more than 3 times angle A. So let's write what that would look like. 17 more than 3 times A would be whatever 3A is plus 17 more. You see what I'm saying? 17 more than 3 times angle A. I don't know how much angle A is, but I just know that angle B is 17 more than 3 times that angle. It also tells you a little information about angle C. Angle C is 43 more than angle A. So what can I rename angle C? If it's 43 more than angle A, that means it is A plus 43. So here's my 3 angles, A, B, and C. We renamed B as 3 times A plus 17 because that's how much it is in relation to A. Angle C is 43 more than A. So now if I can add angle A, angle B, and angle C together, they should equal 180. So let's do that. Angle A is just A plus, what is angle B? 3A plus 17 plus, what is angle C? It's A plus 43. If I add all 3 of those angles together, it should equal 180. Now, look what you have. You've got an equation. The only unknown variable in that equation is that A, which means I can use my equation solving skills and solve this equation for A. And once I know what A is, then I'll know what B is, right? Because once I know what A is, I'll have something to put in that spot. I'll also know what C is, because if I know what A is, I'll have a number to put in this spot. So let's solve this for A. So let's see, here's my equal sign. If I can combine like terms. I can put this A, and this A all together. So let's see, that's 4A plus another A. So I actually have 5A on this side. I can also put the 17 and the 43 together since they're on the same side. I can put those together. So let's see. What is that, 60? Drop down by 180. So see what's happening is I'm getting closer and closer to figuring out what this A is. If I'm still solving for A, I can get rid of that plus 60 with a minus 60. So let's see, bring this down. I'll bring down the 5A equals 120. So now can't I solve this for A by dividing both sides by this 5? So now all I'm left with is A equals 24. So I know what angle A is now. It is 24. So there's angle A. From knowing this, since they told me angle B is 17 more than 3 times angle A, now I just need to put that 24 in this A spot. So I'd have what? 3 times 24 plus 17. Which gives me 89. So now I know that angle B is 89. And again, since I know what A is, I can put that 24 in this spot. So if I do that, I will have 24 plus 43. And if I add that together, it gives me 67. So just when I found out what angle A was, I could use the information that they gave me in the problem to find angle B and angle C from that. Okay? All right, number 4 says the sum of 3 numbers is 57. So we did this in problem 1. How would we write that? The sum of 3 numbers is 57. Well, that would just be x plus y plus z equals 57. So that's what that first sentence translates into. The second sentence says the difference of the largest and the smallest is 44. Well, if you're finding the difference between 2 numbers, you're going to be subtracting them. I'm just going to name the x the smallest one and the biggest one, and the z the smallest one. So if I'm going to find the difference between the largest and the smallest, that means I need to write that as x minus z, and they told us that would equal 44. Then the last sentence says the sum of the 2 smaller numbers is 17. Well, if this is the largest and this is the smallest, those are the 2 smallest numbers, right? Y and Z. And the sum of those numbers is 17. So I would write that as y plus z equals 17. And then it wants us to find those three numbers. Well, look what you have set up. You've set up a problem like in 3.5, a systems of equations that's got three different variables that we used our matrix function to solve. Just like we did on Friday, we're going to make matrix A and matrix B. Now, I do have some blank spots. Every place you see a blank spot, that's going to be a 0 in your matrix. So the top row of my matrix, remember, you're just using the numbers. So this will be 1, 1, and 1. The second row of the matrix, in front of my X is a 1. There was a 0 in place of the Y, right? There's no Y here, so I'll just put a 0. In front of my Z is a -1. And then my bottom row, this time I have a 0x. My Y has a 1 in front of it, and my Z has a 1 in front of it. So there's your matrix A. And remember, your matrix B is what's on the other side of the equal sign. So that'll just be a 57, a 44, and a 17. So we're going to enter these into matrix A and matrix B in our calculator. Remember, the first thing you're going to have to tell your matrix function in your calculator are the dimensions of the matrix that you're creating. So this one, matrix A, how many rows does it have? It's got 3 rows. It also has 1, 2, 3 columns. So that'll be matrix A. I'll have to tell it to be 3 by 3. Matrix B has 1, 2, 3 rows. This one only has 1 column. So now we'll go to our calculator. And remember how to go to matrix. So you'll hit the second button. And then you'll hit the matrix function. Now, remember, the first thing we're doing is we're creating these 2 matrices, which means editing. We're going to edit those in our calculator. So make sure you scroll over to edit first. And then you're going to edit matrix A. So hit enter. My last matrix that I put in was apparently 2 by 2. Yours may still say 3 by 3 from working on Friday. But you need to make sure that the dimensions are right. So that needs to be 3 by 3. So 3, enter, 3, enter. You can see it made a 3 by 3 matrix to fill in your numbers. And then just put in the numbers of this matrix. So my top row should be 1, 1, 1. My second row should be 1, 0, -1. And then my last row should be 0, 1, 1. Okay, and then again, always just double check to make sure the numbers that you put in, make sure your dimensions are right, 3 by 3, and that your 3 rows have the same numbers. So now the second step is you want to create your matrix B now. So again, you'll go to second matrix. You're still editing, right? Anytime you're going to put in new numbers to a matrix, you need to go over to edit That's the one I just did. I just did matrix A. I don't want to mess that up. So I'll come down here to matrix B and hit enter. So I need to make sure that I tell it needs to be a 3 by 1. Okay, so up here needs to say 3 by 1. So 3, enter, 1, enter. And then enter the numbers of this matrix. So 57, 44, and 17. And then double check it again. Now, here's where we do the solving part. So remember, what you want to do on your home screen is say, I want to tell it to do matrix A to the -1 and then matrix B. So to go to the home screen, you'll just hit the second button and quit. So let's see, I need to tell it matrix A. So second matrix. Now, you're wanting to use this A and B that you have created now, right? You've already created new matrices. Those are the ones you want to use. So just hit enter for matrix A. And then your calculator has a -1 button. Make sure you just hit that button. That's what will give you that little -1 exponent. And then second matrix, and then make sure you go down to B because that's the next one you need. And hit enter. And hit enter again. So your numbers would be 40, 21, and -4. For your answers. Okay? All right, the last one is going to be another matrix problem or a systems of equations problem. So it says by eating 1 egg, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of pizza. So let's write down what we're talking about. We're talking about eggs, cupcakes, and pizza. So I'm just going to call them those your X, your Y, and your Z, because those are 3 different things. Now, it says, the first sentence says, by eating 1 egg, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of pizza, a child consumes 300 milligrams of cholesterol. So they ate 1 of each of these. So 1 X, 1 Y, and 1 Z. And when they ate all that, they had 300 milligrams of cholesterol. The next sentence says, if a child eats 3 cupcakes and 4 slices of pizza. So what would 3 cupcakes be? That would be 3 Ys. And 4 slices of pizza, which would be 4 Zs. So when they ate the 3 cupcakes and the 4 slices of pizza, they had 85 milligrams of cholesterol. And the last sentence says, by eating 2 eggs, which would be 2 X's, and 1 cupcake, which would be 1 Y, a child consumes 567 milligrams of cholesterol. So once again, look what you have set up. A systems of equations. It's got 3 equations. and an unknown X, Y, and Z. So that's when we can solve our systems of equations using our matrix function. So you'll create your matrix A and your matrix B. Matrix A, top row will be 1, 1, 1. Matrix B, there's not any X, so that'll be 0. Y is 3 and Z is 4. So 0, 3, 4 is your next row. And then your last row, 2 for the X, 1 for the Y, and this one had 0 for the Z. And again, matrix B is always the numbers on the other side of the equal sign. So 300, 85, and 567. So again, we're going to use our matrix function. So, second matrix. Remember, new problem means new matrices. So you're going to scroll over to edit. And you're going to edit this first one, matrix A. So you'll hit enter. Again, I do want it to be 3 by 3 again. So you can just hit enter, enter to keep it 3 by 3. And then enter your new number. So across the top row, you'll hit 1, 1, 1. Second row is 0, 3, 4. Bottom row is 2, 1, 0. Okay, my most common mistake in doing these is just entering the numbers of my matrix wrong. So just double check to make sure that they are all the right numbers. So 1, 1, 1, 0, 3, 4, and 2, 1, 0. Now I need to make my matrix B to go with this problem. So again, second matrix, going over to edit. Don't mess up your new matrix A. Make sure you're going down to matrix B. Go down, hit enter. And it's another 3 by 1, just like the last matrix B was. So you can just hit enter, enter, and then put your new 3 numbers in there, which will be 300, 85, and 567. And then do the solving part. So second quit to get to your home screen. So now you want A to the -1, B. So second matrix, go ahead and hit your A, right? You're done editing. You want to use this matrix. So just hit enter. Hit your -1 button. And then again, second matrix. Now you need your B, so go down 1 to B, hit enter, and then hit enter again. So let's see, we've got 274, 19, and 7. That's your X, Y, and Z. So 274 represents the cholesterol in the eggs. 19 represents the cholesterol in the cupcake. And 7 represents the cholesterol in the pizza. Okay, so I know this is a short day, but and again, in an effort to keep y'all with my other college algebra classes, I'm gonna just do 3-6 today. We'll do 3-7 on Wednesday. We'll do 3-7 on Wednesday and start reviewing for the test. And then we'll wrap up reviewing for the test on Friday. Okay? All right, I got everybody online and I got everybody in here. All right. I will see y'all Wednesday.